Hey guys, Lauren here, and you're watching my Healthy Living channel, your guide to living a healthier, happier life. And today we're going to talk about kale and how to make one heck of a badass massaged kale salad. Ready? Here's our superstar. This is a huge bunch of kale, by the way. So kale is a phenomenal source of fiber, which we hear so much about in those commercials that talk about people adding fiber to their water. But all you really have to do is eat more vegetables. So kale is a phenomenal source of fiber. It's also a great source of vitamin A, antioxidants, which help to keep our skin youthful, which help to keep our inflammation down, especially if we're working out a lot. It's a great source of calcium for strong bones, and vitamin K, which actually helps the body to absorb that calcium. So, a lot of people don't like kale because if you look at this, it's like a bush. And it's also kind of bitter. But people who don't like kale are probably not eating it the right way. So it's not being prepared the right way because we want it to be easy to digest instead of making us feel bloated and uncomfortable. And we also want it to taste good. So let me show you a few tricks about how to make one heck of a badass massage kale salad. Ready? I think you are. First step, we want to wash our kale and separate it. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm back. We've got our rinsed kale. Now, making the salad requires one thing: ponytails, because we don't want our hair to get in our salad. All right, so to be able to take the leaves off the kale, we just hold it like this by its stem and pull. We don't want to eat these stems. They're really hard to digest. They're like eating little twigs, and better off just to save them for your juicer. So let's put them to the side, and we can quickly get all of these little leaves off our stems. And you can save them for your juicer. You can put them in your smoothies if you really want, but they're pretty bitter, so I don't suggest putting them in your green smoothies. But now we have all this very fibrous, cruciferous green kale. So what we can do with this is we can actually break it up with our hands, or you can cut it and make it into more bite-sized pieces. So let's do that super fast. So digestion is really important. If we're not digesting our foods properly, we're not getting the most nutrients from our foods. So if your digestion is out of whack, out of sync, you're gonna have problems with nutrient absorption, and you're probably gonna always be hungry, and your system is just not gonna feel right. We're gonna do a cool little technique called massaging the kale. All right, so now we've got our big puffy bowl of kale. We've got some left over up here. We're gonna use them in a little bit. And what we're first gonna do is add about 1/8 of a teaspoon of sea salt. And we're just going to use our hands to work that sea salt into these leaves. What that's going to do is it's going to allow the kale to start sweating and releasing its water, and it's also going to allow it to absorb the other ingredients we put on top of it. And it's helping me break down the kale because kale is really cruciferous, it's really puffy, which makes it really hard to digest. And what we're doing right now is we're pre-digesting it. By massaging it, we're kind of getting rid of some of the work our stomach would have to do by giving it a nice little relaxing massage. So you can already see that our kale is much more tame. So this is one bunch of kale. It's a really big bunch of kale, so we might have to alter our ingredients just a little bit. But we're gonna add just a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon of olive oil. We're gonna work that in there. And we're also gonna add a tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar. You can also use half of a lemon also, which is even healthier for you. Raw apple cider vinegar, I recommend. We want that a little bit of acidity. It's going to help break down the leaves. It's going to help balance out the flavor. I do not recommend balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar is very acid forming in the body, and it tends to feed bad bacteria and yeast and cause a lot of bloating and irritation and skin problems, and especially women, but everyone. So we're gonna add about a tablespoon of that too. So far, super easy, right? We've got sea salt, we've got olive oil, and we've got our raw apple cider vinegar. Now we're just gonna take clean hands and we're gonna start to work our magic on this kale. And we can whisper sweet nothings to it if we really want. It's up to you. But as you can see, it's majorly starting to wilt down. You can taste test along the way. Still a little bitter, still a little bit of crunchy. Now this is a huge, huge bunch of kale. So what we might need to do is add a little bit of more olive oil. We're gonna add just a half a tablespoon more. And just a half a tablespoon more of our raw apple cider vinegar. And we're gonna continue to massage that in there. And now that giant, big, puffy bowl of kale is so much more wilted. And what that's gonna do, this is pre-digested. So it's gonna be so much easier to digest. It's gonna help our body to absorb the nutrients more easily, more efficiently. It's gonna cause less bloating. This is just the base salad, so you can add whatever you want to it, but what I love to do is to find a seasoning blend without salt in it, because remember, we already added our salt, and then we're just going to sprinkle that in for flavor. I personally love Bragg's sprinkle of 24 herbs and spices, so based on your spice preference, we can just add about I want to say about a tablespoon of that in there too. And if you don't really like herbs and spices, go light on it. I'm a really herb and spice type of girl. So super simple, super healthy, lots of protein. Actually, what most people don't realize is that about 100 calories of kale is about the equivalent to 6 grams of plant protein. So if you're worried about getting enough protein in there, you got some kale. All right, guys, that's my simple way to make a really badass massage kale salad that's easy to digest, nutrient dense, and super duper delicious. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think of kale, and do you massage your kale? I would love to know. All right, thanks. I like kale. Yeah, kale's good. Maybe I should grab a plate.